I am audible, and welcome back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another session, or rather, a sitting on polity and constitutional. I hope I am audible as well as visible. Those celebrating Raksha Bandhan today, and to those who celebrated yesterday, belated Happy Raksha Bandhan. Oh, somebody has his birthday. Whose birthday is it? Sir, today is my birthday. Bhuvnesh. Oh, Bhuvnesh. No, Vaibhav, it's not my birthday, it's Bhuvnesh. Of days we'll discuss that. When we study money bill, financial bill, we'll discuss that. Don't worry. Okay, so let's get back to our discussion. Others will keep on joining, but we'll do a quick recap. And yesterday we had covered a lot of ground as far as the topic precedent was concerned. We began our discussion, I think, on the executive powers of the president, executive powers, and we saw all those powers, including the concept of pleasure doctrine, of the pleasure of the president with respect to officers, with respect to the ministers, hung parliament, right? Then how it's always Article 74. Even though the president appoints all the important dignitaries of the country, it is always somehow subject to Article 74, right? Then, of course, we also saw the provision with respect to clemency, which is Article 72, very, very important. Clemency powers of the Indian president. That also is actually subject to what? Subject to the advice of Council of Ministers only. It's not their real power. And also, we saw legislative powers. Extremely important was the power of ordinances, right? What's the article? 123. A similar power with governors under Article 213. And then towards the end, the veto powers, the three vetoes. We had the absolute veto used in 1950s once. Then we had the concept of suspensive veto. I gave the example of how Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam used it way back in 2006. Then we also saw pocket veto used by Zail Singh in the 1980s when he was given a bill to sign which he felt was somehow going to negatively impact fundamental rights. So he took no action on the bill, keeping it in his pocket veto. Okay. That's it, the last topic. So today we'll start our discussion. I'll just give you a brief of the veto powers available once again, and then we'll move on to understanding about the vice president, prime minister, council of ministers, so on and so forth. Okay. And before that, questions for the day. I hope everyone is ready now with the 5 questions for the day. Okay, Manish will discuss that, the qualified veto, in say around 15-20 minutes. Just wait. Okay, questions. First question. Please mark the answer. 45 seconds. Okay, of course, easy question. At the commencement of the first session after each general election to the Lok Sabha, the president addresses both houses assembled together. Is it correct? Of course, it's correct. I just want to know which article is it. Please type which article is it. Very good. Article. Okay, a lot of you are marking it correct. It's Article 87, not 86. 86 is the optional address. 87 is the mandatory address of both the houses together on special occasions, like the first session every year and the first session after every general election. The president may send messages to either house of parliament, whether with respect to a bill then pending in the parliament or otherwise. Absolutely correct. This also, this is Article 86, Clause 2. Great, some of you have mentioned the article as well. So, second is also correct. Sending messages to the parliament with respect to bills, etc., or otherwise. Same thing. No difference whatsoever. Okay. So 1 and 2 are both correct. This means C, both 1 and 2 being the right answer. Moving on to the next question. Second question. Please mark the answer. Read the question carefully, mark the answer. I'll give you a minute because it's a question on ordinances, so you may need some time. Oh, some of you have marked A, some of you have marked B also. 2 correct. Amazing. Please let me know which 2 or which statement is correct. I would love to know. Every ordinance promulgated by the president must be tabled within 6 weeks of the assembly. Weeks. My dear aspirants, weeks, not months. Right? So 1 is wrong. The power to promulgate ordinances is the discretionary power of the president. It is not a discretionary power. Of course. And no ordinance was promulgated under prime ministership of Pandit Nehru. I mentioned yesterday, in the first 12 years, right? In the first 12 years, 66 ordinances were promulgated. So this is also wrong. None is correct. Oh, a small error within. Okay. That's it. Moving on to question number 3. All 3 are wrong here. D is the answer. Now, third question. Again, please mark the answer. A minute of time. Divan, am I in the wrong class? Divan, what class were you attending yesterday? Polity or IR? I would firstly like to point out this is incorrect, and innocent aspirants would please remark their raise their hands. How many of you did not again see incorrect? Please. Okay, amazing. Why is this happening? Okay, no problem then. The oath to the Indian president is administered by the vice president. So even then, if you had not seen correct, most of you should have marked D as the answer. Sadly, very few have marked D as the answer. The oath to the Indian president is administered by vice president. Yes or no? This is a wrong fact. Chief Justice of India. Okay. The vice president must inform the Speaker, Lok Sabha, and CJI on receiving the information of resignation. Only to the Speaker, not to CJI. Clear? No need to inform to CJI and all. What is this nonsense? Only Speaker needs to be informed by the VP. So this is wrong. This is wrong. The salary of the president is charged on which fund? Consolidated Fund of India, and not the Contingency Fund of India. So this is also wrong. All three are wrong. C, all three is the answer. And for those who did not see incorrect, they should have marked D at least, right? But sadly, double mistakes. Not seeing incorrect and marking the answer also wrong. Okay, no problem. That's why we're here, to practice. Moving on to the next question. Question number 4. "45 seconds. Mark the answer. Okay, great. A lot of you marked this correct. Very good. The proposal to impeach the president can start in Lok Sabha only, no in either house. One is wrong. Both the houses must vote on the proposal separately with a majority of 2/3 of total strength of the house. Absolutely correct. And no president has ever been impeached so far is also correct. Two statements are correct. B, only two is the right answer. Okay. Satyam and Shahid. I think Shahid and Dhanya also. Oh. I think, and Vikas. Come on, how many of you feel that this should have been 1/4? No, please don't raise your hand. Write your name there. I want to read your names. Oh, huge mistake on my part. Yesterday I said 1/4. That is why, please read the statements carefully, hear me out carefully, rather than watching the TV, cricket match, etc., and wasting your time here and there. Focus on the class. To start a proposal to remove, to initiate a proposal to remove, 1/4 people are required. To initiate the process, just to start this process only. Once the process starts, then to vote on the proposal to remove impeachment, to remove the president, 2/3 people are required. Are we clear on this? Are we all okay now? Don't say yes. Those who were saying 1/4. Okay, great. Now please don't ever make a mistake in your life on this. 1/4 people start the process. 2/3 have to vote to remove the person finally. Because a process can start, but maybe he or she may not be removed. That's possible, right? Okay. So B only 2. And last question for today. Fifth one, easy question, simple question. Please mark your answer. Shahid, I think now the explanation is clear. Initiating and voting on removal are two different things. Yes, these are two different words, and the meaning is also different. Dictionary can be of huge help in this. Okay. The president cannot use pocket veto in case of constitutional amendment bills. Is correct. Of course, he has to sign. So tell me, which veto can the president use in case of constitutional amendment bills? Tell me, which veto can be used by the president? Great. Very good. No, absolutely. No veto can be used by the president. No veto. Not allowed. Okay. Suspensive veto can only be used in case of ordinary bills, of course. When it comes to money bills, for money bills, especially suspensive veto can't be used. We saw yesterday that a money bill cannot be sent back for reconsideration. So, 2 is correct. And as far as pocket veto is concerned, I think I explained yesterday only that pocket veto has been used by Gyani Zail Singh in case of a situation where, you know, a bill was being brought, Indian Post Office Act amendment was being made, Section 16, Section 26, right? So I had mentioned this yesterday. Okay. So, of course, 3 is wrong, 1 and 2. So only 2 are correct. Okay. Suspensive veto can be used only in case of ordinary bills, right? Not in case of money bills or constitutional amendment bills. Anurag, since you have attended this class earlier, when we come to that point, others will be informed about it. You don't have to worry at all, right? This class was meant on the topics taught yesterday, right? Okay. In the poll, what was the answer, guys? Was it the answer B or C? B, right? Then why is baby saying that answer in poll was showing as C? Guys, don't create these kind of silly situations, na? That poll was wrong, poll was wrong. Come on, grow up. Okay. Anyway, so that's it. We are done for the day. Please go back to your slides. You will see everything was mentioned at some point of time in the slides or was explained. So that's it. Now let's move on and discuss, just to end our discussion, types of veto powers. But yes, before that, leaderboard. Yes. Yes, Hussain. Oh, calm down. We'll show leaderboard. Alfred, Chanduru, Ananya, Anu, Manikandan, Nikki, Kirtana, Roshan, Shubha, Sushanta, Kudikula, Sema, Alenta, BK Bhu, Bhavik. And then we have again exactly 15. Are these the same 15 students or different 15 students? Exactly 15 students have again topped. Amazing. Rajanandini, Sandeep, Maria, Samir, Rakesh, Venkat Nalla, and others, of course, to follow. Oh, Ananya is new here. Great. So the topper list has 15 people with some new names. Very nice. Okay. Now, types of veto powers. Types of veto powers we saw yesterday, the discussion on vetoes. And what was left was just to tell you that world over. Now, firstly, understand these words: qualified veto, absolute veto, suspensive veto, pocket veto. These words are not mentioned in the Constitution, but the essence is mentioned. Now, how is the pocket veto mentioned? Pocket veto is mentioned indirectly because there is no time frame mentioned for the president to sign. So if the president starts taking more than the usual time, we will assume this is a case of pocket veto. Okay, point one. Same goes for suspensive veto. If the bill is not sent back, right? So it mentions that the president can send back the bill. Suspensive veto. Clear? Now, of course, we know absolute veto has been used earlier. What are these two vetoes? Qualified and suspensive. They mean the same thing. Suspensive veto is used in our country, India, and qualified veto is used in USA. Okay, what's the difference? In USA also, the bill can be sent back by the president for reconsideration. In India also, the bill is sent back by the president for reconsideration. Now, in order to make the president sign on the bill again, the parliament has to pass the bill again, which will force the president to sign. Now, in India, the same kind of majority is required to pass the bill again. That means more than 50% of the MPs who are present and are voting. This is required. But in USA, if the president sends back a bill, now to force the president into signing the bill, this time a higher majority is required, which is 2/3 members. They have to pass the proposal again, which will force the US president into signing the bill. That's the only difference. Are we clear on this? Qualified veto is with respect to what? The US president. Absolute veto is with respect to the suspensive veto is with respect to the Indian president. No, Mayank Vadwani, that is not what the first option means. Every answer is correct and it is absolutely without doubt uh, free from any error. Okay. Now, lastly, one more thing. If you observe pocket veto, right? Pocket veto, where the president takes no action. So in USA, there is a small problem. In USA, the time frame is set. Time to give assent, 10 days. In India, time to give assent, indefinite. Nothing is mentioned. No time frame. So in USA, the president has to give assent in 10 days. But in India, there is no such time frame mentioned, which means what? So there is a very pathetic PJ in polity that the pocket of the Indian president is bigger than the pocket of US president. Why? Because the pocket of US president is just 10 days and the pocket of the Indian president is infinite, unlimited days. Okay, that's it. Now, lastly, we are done with the entire topic of president. So, just to summarize, some of you, I think I received a mail also yesterday or today, just before the class, I read that mail that, sir, why do we have the Indian president? Remove the person. We are wasting money and all, right? So, the idea being that now, what exactly the situation, the position of the president in the Indian constitution? See, as far as the Indian president is concerned, he or she does enjoy some discretionary powers. Definitely. This is the list of discretionary powers enjoyed by the Indian president. Are we clear? Please go through this list. Nothing beyond this, and nothing else will be a discretion. It will always be on the advice of some committee, some commission, council of ministers, etc. So, when no party has a clear majority, interesting, there's a name for it. When no party gets a clear majority, what do we call that? Tell me. Okay, we call that hung legislature or hung parliament. No problem. When no party has majority, we call it hung parliament. So, in case of a hung parliament, any person can be appointed by the president as a prime minister. That is correct. Then, removing the council of ministers or dissolving Lok Sabha only in special cases. When no party can form the government. If no party can form the government, then dissolve the Lok Sabha. Also, if the government cannot prove that they have the majority, remove the government. Clear? So, this is done with respect to the discretion of the president. Then, returning an advice under Article 74, advice can be returned once for reconsideration. Then, seeking information under Article 78, the clause B says that the president can also seek information. Clause A says that the PM has a duty to furnish. Clause B says that the president can also seek information and the PM has to inform the president. And then suspensive veto, pocket veto, of course, and the pleasure doctrine, which is what? Nothing but pleasure of the president with respect to ministers. I hope you remember that I had explained the example of how if at any point of time Mr. Amit Shah and Imran Khan are interacting and the president goes to the PM. Remember? Okay, just this. Don't write Article 310. What is this here? A.S. Hussain, sir. Please, sir. Revise. Revise, please. Very important. On the left side of the slide, I had mentioned discretion of the president. or discretion. What is the meaning of discretion? On his own free will choice. Are we clear, everyone? So these are some of the discretionary powers of the president. That is why removing the post only may not be justified, right? Now, some of you who had a problem now can understand that during extreme circumstances, the president can use his powers. And normally he cannot. These are all exceptional situations, right? Normally he cannot. So since normally he cannot use any of his powers, he is a nominal head only, a rubber stamp. But sometimes we want somebody at the top to ensure to have an oversight that if things go wrong, if the government goes crazy completely, right? Then there is one check even above the government. Uh, Dhanya, we have discussed this pleasure of president with respect to ministers in the heading executive powers. Please watch that slide. Okay, we are now done with the topic Indian president. Are we clear? Bhuvnesh, patience. Come on, patience. Birthday boy, patience. Now, first up, in case anybody wants to read Lakshmikant, you can read chapter 17 of the book. Okay. Now, important articles. So, all the articles I am writing here, I would request you to please read the article on your own. You know the meaning, I explained it, but it would be better if you read them on your own also. It gives you a more comprehensive understanding of the article and the language. So we also want to simultaneously improve our technical jargon use of technical words and technical language. Clear? So Basu asks from where? Sir, did you attend the first class, Mr. Basu, whoever you are? So important articles. Let's start with Article 54. Then moving on to Article 71. Now, in the PPTs, I have mentioned various articles. Don't worry about those articles. Just focus on these. Then, of course, Article 60. Article 60 is the oath, right? Then, moving on, we saw the funds, Article 266 and 267. All the clauses, and when I say Article 266, right, this means read all the clauses of Article 266. Then coming down to the impeachment procedure, Article 61. Then Article 74, very important, the first clause, the second clause. Then we saw Article 361, immunity of the Indian president. Then we saw Article 78, right? I am not writing 75 clause 2 because we'll discuss 75 clause 2 later on also. Then moving on, we came down to understanding the clemency powers, Article 72. Then we moved on to the legislative powers. There, Article 85, Article 86, Article 87. Then moving on, one more article is 103, which is the president's power to disqualify. We'll discuss this again in the chapter Parliament. So that's going to discuss again, don't worry. Then, of course, towards the end, we also discussed Article 123, which is what? Ordinances. Are we clear on this? Everybody? As far as schedules were concerned, please tell me, we had seen one schedule. Which schedule was that? The schedule which talks about the salaries and allowances of the ministers. Salary allowances of ministers, yes or no? In that schedule, the salaries of Prime Minister is mentioned. Yes or no? No. That is Schedule 2 and it mentions the salary of Chief Election Commissioners. Yes or no? No. Very good. So, yes, somebody is saying yes. No. It mentions the salary of the President, governors, presiding officers and deputy presiding officers, which also includes indirectly the chairman of Rajya Sabha, the vice president, then Supreme Court judges, High Court judges, and the fifth one. Please tell me fifth one. Very good. CAG. Absolutely correct. Great. For some of you, amazing work. Revisions are going on, I see. Very good. Okay. Now, Mayank Wadhwani, please refer to the slides video that is there. Second, third, fourth point is all taught beforehand, right? It's something taught yesterday. I am not teaching this right now. I am just collecting all the points taught before. Like Article 78, refer to Article 78, the duty of the Prime Minister to furnish information. Article 74, it's one article that you should not ask me ever again in life. What is Article 74? Right? Under Article 74, the President has to sign, give the assent, follow the advice. But one small point, that he can return the advice also. So come on, type this answer. Which Amendment Act allows the President to return back the advice once for reconsideration? Very good. 44th Amendment Act. Absolutely correct. Excellent. One small point before we end our discussion. Tell me, I mean, we saw yesterday that it is binding on the President to give the assent on one type of bill, the constitutional amendment bills. This binding exercise, that it is binding, you have to sign, was made through which amendment? No, guys, don't write 42nd. Hear the question out. Bill 42nd and 44th. Article 74 is meant for the government to give advice. The PM gives executive orders appointing somebody. The PM says, President, appoint this person as Attorney General. The President says yes and sign. But the Parliament passes a bill, a proposal. The legislature passes it. All the MPs pass it. Their veto powers are used. So my question is, which is that Amendment Act which made it mandatory for the President to sign on constitutional amendment bills? Okay, now I think a lot of you are getting it correct. It is the 24th Amendment Act, 1971. Somebody says that I don't know. Oh, how sweet. Then don't write this. It's okay. No problem. So let's move on now to the important cases. So we have seen three important cases. Important case number one was the Shatrughan Chauhan case, which we saw under the ordinance, and the Krishna Kumar Singh case, which again we saw under the topic ordinances. Okay, so case important. You told in the, I could appreciate your contribution, but it's too late, right? So if you refer to your slides, what is that word called? Revision. Sorry, revision. So if you do that, you will find out that in the basic concept slide towards the end, Schedule 7 is mentioned along with two articles, 246 and 248. Clear? And also, one very important case was mentioned there. Which case? Ram Javaya Kapoor case. Very good. Great. Okay, let's now move on and look at the from one very important president, powerful person to another powerful person, Vice President of India. Okay, vice president. Article 63 says there shall be a vice president of India. Very, very easy, very, very simple. So, one point I'd like to make here only for all of you to understand, there is an Article 64. Also, plus Article 89. Both articles say the same thing. Article 64 says that whoever becomes the vice president, whoever becomes the vice president will automatically become the chairman of Rajya Sabha. So we say that the VP is the ex officio chairperson of Rajya Sabha. Now, what's the meaning of this word ex officio? Ex officio means by virtue of, automatically. Okay. So that is there. Yes, Shreyas, this is a live lecture. Why only vice president, Om? Why not vice prime minister? Innocent questions. We can have vice, not vice, but deputy prime minister. If the PM wants to appoint somebody, he can appoint somebody as deputy prime minister. He is the authority. Clear? Okay. Now, coming to the elections. Elections of the vice president. See, the elections of the president are a very complicated exercise. Okay. Now, when it comes to the election of the president, we have the concept of vote value. Why do we have vote value? Because the election involves MPs and MLAs. These are politicians at two levels. MPs are at the central level, MLAs at the state level. That is why we need vote value concept. But here, the electoral college, this article is not important, but I'm mentioning it. The electoral college will consist of all the MPs. All the MPs. Only MPs, not MLAs. All the MPs. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, yes. Whether you are elected or you are nominated, every MP takes part in the electoral process of choosing the Vice President of India. Are we clear? You can see here, this is the Lok Sabha, the green carpet. This is the Rajya Sabha, the red carpet. Now, why green, why red? It is just a convention. Don't fall prey to useless information on the internet that the carpet is green because they come from grassroots. Nonsense. It is just a convention. Since it was the same thing in Britain, we simply have copied it. There is no underlying hidden meaning or agenda. Why green? Why red? Clear? No, because somebody will ask this, sir, why it is green? Why it is red? Okay. Yes, nominated bhi. Everybody. Okay. That's why I mentioned it. Why will I crack jokes here? Okay. Green Congress, Madam. Oh, is there some hidden meaning here, or are you asking something? This is Lok Sabha. This is the Rajya Sabha. Bhavna, when we have the new parliament and the session start there, I replace the photograph. Don't feel offended. Okay. Now, let's Vaibhav, nominated MPs are nominated by the president. Why will he be biased? Okay. Now, some basic things that are used here also. So, here also we have the concept of what? Proportional representation. Here also we have the concept of single transferable vote. Here also secret ballot voting is there. Here also no EVM, no nota. What is nota? None of the above. And one very important thing, in the case of the vice president, there is no concept of vote value. Why? Because it is only the MPs, so all the MPs have the same vote value, 1. Clear? Then, now, coming to one important point, proposers and seconders. I hope you remember who are these people. If not, please revise. So, in the case of President of India, number of proposers had to be 50 and number of seconders had to be 50, 50 each. In the case of VP, it is 20 each. So, small point of difference. So, I am simply highlighting the points of difference. Then here also you need the same security deposit. And what is that deposit? That deposit is the exact same amount, rupees 15,000. Then here also we have the concept of Article 71. What is Article 71? The election disputes are to be resolved by Supreme Court only, right? But again, a point of difference. Who can approach? So, either the candidate or electors. But in the case of president, 20 electors could approach. Minimum 20 were required to approach rather. But here, at least 10 are sufficient. So 10 or more electors meaning voters. Who are the voters here? Members of parliament. They can approach. That's it. Done. So recently, that is last year, we had the election of the vice president also, the 16th vice president of India. The voting was on 6th of August, and on the same day result declared, because no calculation, nothing multiplication, nothing is required, no vote value, no jhamela. Very simple, easy, smooth process. And since Venkaiah Naidu's term was supposed to end on 10th of August, so on the 11th of August, the swearing in ceremony, oath ceremony, took place for the new vice president, Jagdeep Dhankar. Okay. So, what's the qualification? Exact same qualification that is required for the president. One small difference. He or she also has to be citizen of India. Same age, 35. Same concept, should not hold any office of profit. But in the case of president, the president should be eligible to be an MP of Lok Sabha. Should not be, just be qualified to be an MP of Lok Sabha. There's a difference. Like you are eligible to be an IAS officer. You are not an IAS officer. You meet the age criteria, you meet the other criteria, but you are not an IAS officer. Similarly, he or she should be eligible to be a member of Lok Sabha for president. But for vice president, constitutionally, there's a difference. He or she should be qualified for election as a member of Rajya Sabha. Now, practically, there is no difference. It's the same qualification. And what is the qualification? Name in voter list in any Lok Sabha constituency. Clear? But theoretically, there is a small difference. And what's the difference? The difference is that the difference is that in case of president, in the constitution, it mentions Lok Sabha. In case of the vice president, it mentions Rajya Sabha. Okay. Dvaipayan, sir, if majority of votes go to Nota, Dvaipayan, there is no Nota only in the case of vice president. Are we clear on this? Here also, there is no concept of whip. Whenever you have secret ballot, it would of course mean no whip. Anyway, Kavita, is the verdict of Supreme Court final? Of course it is final. Subject to verdict of God, if you believe in God. Clear? Sir, can a nominated member of Rajya Sabha elected as VP? You have to resign. Hardeep, guys, I hope you are clear on this point that you have to be eligible to be an MP of Rajya Sabha. If you are an MP of Rajya Sabha, you can't be the president, vice president of India. Are we clear? Everybody, I hope there is no doubt like this that you have to be an MP. No, you cannot be an MP. You just have to be qualified to be an MP. Okay, great. Manam, I want Congress, but again BJP will come to power in center. Okay. No, Mayank Wadhwani, they are different members. Okay. Sumo Jagdeep Dhankar resigned from the post of governor and then took the oath as a vice president. It is possible. We will discuss office of profit under the chapter Parliament in detail. As of now, the information mentioned to you is sufficient with respect to the office of profit. Okay. Shoyab has a question. This is the problem. Shoyab says, why Rajya Sabha people, firstly write MPs, not casting their vote in election of president, but involved in VP election? So how do we address Shoyab's concern, guys? Is the MP of Rajya Sabha not voting in the election of president? Is that correct? They do vote. All the elected MPs of Rajya Sabha vote in the election of president. Everything is taught. Now you say, who is president? Only nominated people, 12 of them don't vote. And the reason was explained earlier also. What was the reason? The reason was that since the president nominates these people, there could be a possibility of biasness. That is why the nominated people are not given the opportunity to vote. Are we clear? The same exception, Tejas, is here also. Kumari, Anglo-Indian will discuss later on in the chapter Parliament. Okay. I will just repeat this third point again. It is very simple. Please stop writing a question. Hear me out first. Just 3-4 people constantly asking question on everything. Before I can explain, they'll jump and write the question. Hear me out first. Please have the patience. We'll cover everything. Don't worry. Just like you right now, let's say somebody is above 21. So if you are above 21, you will be what? Eligible to be elected, to sit for UPSC. You are eligible for UPSC. You are qualified to sit for UPSC. But you are not an IS officer. You are qualified to become an IS officer. You are eligible, but you're not an IS officer. Similarly, any person who wants to become the vice president, he should be qualified to be an MP in Rajya Sabha. And what's the meaning? The meaning is that your name should be in the voter list in the country. Voter list in the country. Clear? Okay. Pula, they'll be biased telling anything, sir. Oh, what can I say to such students? What else would be a possibility? Pula, see, what will happen is, because there is no limit to how many times a person can contest. Let's say I am the president. I am contesting again to get re-elected. And I need the votes of people. So I have nominated certain people to the Rajya Sabha. Though there is a possibility that those people may vote for me, because those people were appointed by me on the advice of the government, and those people are favoring the government. So it is more likely that those people will favor the government when it comes to the election of the president also. Okay. Bhuvnesh, can I be VP? Bhuvnesh, you tell me, after reading the minimum age criteria, you are just 15.5 years of age, Bhuvnesh. Have the patience. After 20 years, you will become the VP. You can, sorry, you can, not you will. Or if you come to me, sir, I am still not a VP. Okay, now the oath or affirmation. Some of the questions just make my day. I am waiting, in the morning sessions of offline classes. It's fun and frolic, but the beauty of these questions is missing. So, thank you for asking these amazing questions. Right, so I can peacefully go and sleep. It always brings a smile on my face. Though it's a heartbreak also to see some questions, but never mind, it's okay. So, the president takes an oath which is administered to him by the vice president. Yes or no? The president takes an oath which is administered to him by the vice president. Okay, great. Thankfully, everybody says no. The president is administered oath by the CJI. Clear? Great. Now here, Article 69 says that the oath of the VP or to the VP is administered by the president. If the president is busy, right, doing nothing, doing something, then any other person appointed on that behalf, meaning the president can call you also. Listen, you come here, go and administer the oath to the vice president. Don't worry, you will never be called. You can be called, right? So the oath is administered by the president. Very simple oath. Bear true faith and allegiance to the constitution and faithfully discharge my duties. That's it. Now, since you are appointed, you can be removed. You are born, you die, the story of life. So, unlike the case of the president, which is called impeachment, we don't call it impeachment. We simply call it removal. So, what is the removal process like? Firstly, of course, before somebody says, sir, can he resign? Is it possible? Of course, he can resign. So, the VP can also resign and can submit the resignation to the president. Submit to the president. Number two, we also know very well their tenure is also 5 years, any number of times. So what's the tenure? 5 years, eligible for re-election a number of times. And here also, the VP can continue beyond 5 years till the successor enters office. Till successor enters office. Okay. Now, coming to removal. The removal procedure of the vice president is mentioned under Article 67, Clause B. This article is important. You better remember this article. Okay. Now, the procedure to remove the vice president can start only in the Rajya Sabha. Unlike in the case of the president, where the process can start in either house, the process to remove the VP can start only in the Rajya Sabha. So resolution meaning proposal for removal can be initiated, can be started, can begin, can be moved. It's all the same thing. Only in the Rajya Sabha. Only Rajya Sabha can begin the process of removal. Clear? Lok Sabha cannot start this process. Now, again, 14 days notice has to be given. 14 days notice must be provided to VP before initiating removal. Now, there is a concept of majority. So, how many people are required to vote in the Rajya Sabha to remove the vice president? So, in the Rajya Sabha, it should be passed by effective majority. Now, what's the meaning of this? We have heard majority. Majority means what? More than 50%. So, effective majority means more than 50% of effective strength. So, what is this effective strength? Please have patience, I'll explain. Let's take an example. Rajya Sabha. In Rajya Sabha, what's the total membership or total strength? It is 245 total membership. Let's assume that there are some people, 8 MPs of Rajya Sabha are going on a bus to Goa to have party, and the bus crashes and all the MPs die. No, we are not hoping for all this. Let's assume it happens. When those 8 MPs die, those 8 seats that they are holding in Rajya Sabha, those seats become vacant. Yes or no? Let's assume there is some vacancy. 8 seats become vacant. So, the effective strength, ES, effective strength will be total membership minus vacancy. This is the effective strength. This is the total membership, TM minus vacancy. So what is the calculation, CSAT experts? 245 minus 8 will be 237. Okay. Absence in the parliament does not mean vacancy. Think of this very basic thing. You go to school. You go to school. If you are, if you did not go to school one day, you are absent, but you are a student there, right? But if the school throws you out, you are rusticated, then your seat is not absent. You are gone from the school. Your name is not there in the record, right? So that is what is called vacancy. Vacant seat is different from absence. Because if I'm absent today, I can be present tomorrow. But if the seat is vacant, means there is no member there, present or absent. Difference. These two are different words with different meanings. Okay. So more than 50% of effective strength, more than 50% of effective strength, which will be more than, what is 50%? 50 upon 100. What is off? Into ES 237, which will be more than how much? Please calculate. 118.5, which is equal to 119. We cannot have 0.5 human being. So 119 people are required to support. 119 people are required to support this proposal to remove the Indian vice president in the Rajya Sabha. Chapter is not over. Case is not closed. Matter is not complete. Wait. Now, once they have approved this in the Rajya Sabha, they send this proposal to Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha, you also remove. Then in the Lok Sabha, the people pass it by a simple majority. Now, what the hell is this simple majority? Simple majority is very, very simple. It simply means more than 50% of all the MPs who are present and voting. Meaning, on that day, how many people were there? If more than half of them vote and say yes, removed. We don't care. We don't care whether 100 people are there, 200 are there. Ashay, are you paying enough attention? Yes. Can you see these two things mentioned here? Is it possible to see on the screen? TM, can you see this green arrow going? Total membership. TM, please focus. Don't skip the class. Don't run away in between. Don't watch cricket matches. Focus on the class. Okay. Are we clear? Everybody? This is how the vice president is removed. Clear? Now, couple of things which are different here, or not different, but which are not mentioned only. Now, point number one, what is the ground of removal of the president? Ground. Tell me, what is the ground to remove the Indian president? Okay, violation of the constitution. That is mentioned there under Article 61. Now, what is the ground to remove the vice president? Nothing is mentioned in the constitution. Not mentioned in the constitution. This was a symbol for constitution that we had pledged that we will use in the class. So please don't ask me after 10 days, sir, what is this C? No ground is mentioned. Okay. Second thing, in the case of president, how many people are required to initiate a proposal? Tell me. To start this process, how many people are required? Again, 20, 2/3, some of you. No hope. Today also I explained this point. 1/4 MPs are required. But in the case of removal of the VP in the Rajya Sabha, how many are required? A single MP is also enough because nothing is mentioned in the constitution. Are we clear? Everybody. Okay, great. Everything has been mentioned with complete clarity. Nothing beyond this is required or nothing has been skipped. So, this is the removal procedure. And if you have understood this, please solve a very, very difficult question. I'll give you 30 seconds. So, please mark your answer accordingly. The resolution proposal for removing the VP of India can be moved in which house? Rajya Sabha alone. The resolution for removal can be initiated, started, begun, moved in Rajya Sabha only. Rajya Sabha alone. D is the right answer. Okay. Now, finally, we'll discuss the powers and functions of the Vice President. So, Vice President has no power. No power whatsoever. The only power he has is under Article 65, that if the president is not there, then he can act as a president, but that too for a maximum period of 6 months, right? When a vacancy happens because of death, resignation, impeachment, etc. Are we clear on this? Now, what power does he have actually? So, Rajya Sabha chairperson, this post of vice president, whoever holds the post automatically becomes the chairman of Rajya Sabha. So the VP actually enjoys all the power that he does as the chairman of Rajya Sabha, not because of VP. In fact, the salary also that he receives is on behalf of the functions he performs as a chairperson of Rajya Sabha. Are we clear on this? Everybody? So, sadly, our VP is somebody who does not enjoy any real powers. Okay? No VP has ever been removed so far. Clear? Okay. That's it. We are done with the Vice President of India. Done. Over. That's it. In case you want to read Lakshmikant, feel free to read the chapter 18. Okay. Any important article? Yes. Two articles are important. One is Article 64 and the other one is Article 67, Clause B. That is the removal of the Vice President. Please read both these articles and clauses on your own from the Constitution, the copy of which you can download from the legislative.gov website. Refer to the first day's lecture or the PPT, it's mentioned there. Important cases, no important case. Okay, that's it. So we are done with the president, executive, the VP. Now number 3 and number 4, the other people who are a part of union executive are the prime minister and the entire council of ministers along with the big boss. Clear? So PM is also a minister. He is a part of council. He heads the council. PM, Prime Minister. So 3 articles are important here: 74, 75, and 78. So we already know 74. We already know 78. You'll be surprised to know that we have studied these 2 articles. When and how have we studied? That will be a mystery. Right? So, Divyanshi, there is no such emergency power. We'll study emergency power separately once we have studied all these topics. Okay? See, guys, if you have missed out on some technical issues, it would be wrong to expect me to explain the topic again, right? Because others are also there who have not missed out the topic. So please, that is why the videos are available for 7 days for you to watch. In case you miss out on something, etc., please watch the video. I think this is a basic courtesy we have to extend to others and be informed aspirants. Okay. Sir, if the president is a rubber band, rubber stamp, not rubber band, then what about vice president? Vice president is not called a rubber band or rubber stamp. Okay. Yes, 2 more announcements to be made. Announcement number 1 is that on Saturday, you will have your doubt sessions for geography. So please send all your queries to IAS Live, and on Saturday, you will have the doubt clearing session on geography separately from 5 p.m. That's the same thing. So all those people who attended the previous session of geography, please attend the session on Saturday to have your doubts clarified in case you have any beyond the class also. Just like that, once we finish polity, we'll have a separate doubt session for polity only, where we won't be teaching anything, but only taking doubts and concerns. Okay. So that's it. And one more, 5 p.m. In the evening. And one more point, that at 8:30, after this class ends, you will have a session where in case you want to know what changes have been made in the application app, as far as the recording is available, where are they available, all these things, there is a session which will be held today only at 8:30. Please attend that session in case you want to know that as well. Clear? Okay. Vaibhav, please revise. We have mentioned all these things. Salary of VP, who what he receives as a chairman of Rajya Sabha, was mentioned in Schedule 2, 4 lakh rupees. Okay. Now, so we have seen Article 74, we have seen Article 78. What we have not seen is Article 75. So now we'll see what is Article 75. So all the clauses one by one, clause 1, 1A, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very easy, very simple to understand. Point number 1. The Prime Minister is appointed by the, tell me, the PM is appointed by the President, and the other ministers are also appointed by the President. It is not just the Prime Minister, but all the ministers are appointed by the President only. But other ministers are appointed by the President on the advice of the Prime Minister. So the PM says, President, appoint this person, my best friend, Home Minister, second best friend, Finance Minister, third best friend, Defense Minister. I mean, not best friend, people who have expertise in that field. Whatever the PM wants. So all ministers are holding their office because they are in the good books of the Prime Minister. Are we clear? So, yes, officially, formally, the President appoints the ministers, but in reality, it's the Prime Minister on whose advice the ministers are being appointed. So, please keep on sending good morning text to the PM if you want to retain the post of minister. Anyway, now two things here. Point number one. See, if you go to a family function and somebody misbehaves with you, you can leave the function. No problem. Nobody cares. But if your father leaves the function, then it is only natural that the entire family leaves the function. Right? Similarly, if any minister resigns, nothing happens. Minister resigns, there are plenty of people waiting to become minister. But if the PM resigns, the entire council of ministers has to resign. Okay, because that entire group of ministers were actually appointed on the advice of PM only. If your boss is leaving, please leave. So resignation of prime minister means what? Entire COM must resign. Okay, this is their point number one. Now point number two. Who can be a minister, including prime minister? So PM or the minister can belong to which house? Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? Tell me. Let's see. PM can belong to which house? PM can belong to any house. Clear? Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? Any house. Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. So we have had in the past PMs also from Rajya Sabha, like Dr. Manmohan Singh, right? I.K. Gujral, H.D. Devegowda, etc. Then, in case of ministers, we have plenty of ministers from the Rajya Sabha. Piyush Goyal, S. Jaishankar, Nirmala Sitharaman, Hardeep Singh Puri, Bhupendra Yadav, Sarbanand Sonowal, Purushottam Rupala, Jyotiraditya Scindia. So many people are there who are ministers in the Rajya Sabha, who are ministers but MPs of Rajya Sabha. So members of any house can become minister, including Prime Minister. One more thing. Should this MP who becomes the Prime Minister be elected only, or can he be nominated also? So they can either be elected or nominated. Either elected or nominated. Clear? So Prime Minister or any of these ministers can be either elected or nominated, and they can belong to any house, Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Clear? Now one more point. See, currently BJP is the ruling party because BJP has majority in the Lok Sabha. Majority in the Lok Sabha. So we had seen yesterday only that you have to have the majority in the Lok Sabha to form the government, right? More than half the MPs should belong to your party. They should have won the election in the Lok Sabha only. So plus BJP has some MPs in Rajya Sabha also. BJP has on its own 300 plus MPs in Lok Sabha, 90 plus MPs in Rajya Sabha. Together almost 400 people, 394, 395 people. Plus BJP also has some other parties which support BJP coalition. Now every person in the BJP wants to become the minister. Every person says, please make me the minister. PM, please make me the minister. But not every person can become the minister. If you make 500 ministers, Then the huge cost on exchequer, firstly. Secondly, also the fact that we don't have 500 ministries. How will we give them work? So, in the year 2003, the constitution was amended, and the amendment was done through the 91st Amendment Act. For the 91st time, AA stands for Amendment Act. With this Amendment Act, we added a clause under Article 75, that is clause 1A. And what is this clause 1A? It says that the total number of ministers, including the prime minister, in the council of ministers, right, shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members of House of People. House of People means Lok Sabha. Now, please hear me out first. Before jumping and typing something, hear me out. How many ministers can the country have? Maximum. Maximum number of ministers, which includes the prime ministers, including PM. How many can you have? 15%. But 15% of what? How to calculate this number? So we use the total membership or total strength of Lok Sabha to calculate this number. Total membership of Lok Sabha. I'll repeat this again. This does not mean that an MP cannot come from, a minister cannot come from Rajya Sabha. They can come from Rajya Sabha. But to calculate what will be the upper limit beyond which we cannot have ministers, to find out that limit, we are using the total strength of Lok Sabha only. That is 543. So, if you calculate 15% of 543, that would mean 15 by 100 of means into 543. So that would mean 8145. So it cannot exceed. This means the answer would be 81. You cannot have more than 81 ministers in the country at the central level. I am repeating again. Lok Sabha does not mean that the minister cannot come from Rajya Sabha. It simply means that to calculate the upper limit, some number was required. We are choosing to take the total strength of Lok Sabha as the number based on which we'll calculate the 15%, and that is the upper limit, beyond which we cannot have ministers in the country. I hope this point is clear to everybody. Okay? Okay. Now, since it is so clear, let us solve a very, very complicated and difficult question asked twice in the examination. Such is the difficulty of this question. I will give you 30 seconds to mark the answer. It should be sufficient. Great. A lot of you mark this correct. Some of you not paying attention at all are marking it wrong. So, which one of the following constitutional amendment states that the total number of ministers, including the Prime Minister, in the Council of Ministers shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members of the House of People? It's the 91st Amendment Act of which year? 2003. Article 75, Clause 1A. Okay. Let's now move on to some other provisions. So clause 2, we have already seen clause 2. Remember, the minister shall hold office during the pleasure of president. For more on this, refer to your president chapter, where I have explained the pleasure of the president with lot of detail. Third point. Now, this third point is extremely important. I would request you to always remember this Article 75, Clause 3. See, we follow what is called a parliamentary form of government. One very important element of parliamentary form of government is the fact that the head of government is the real head and head of state is the nominal head. One more important element of parliamentary form of government, in the parliamentary system, in fact, this is one reason why we chose the parliamentary system. We chose this because we wanted to ensure that the Council of Ministers, the government, is accountable, is responsible towards the parliament, right? So the Council of Ministers shall be collectively as a group responsible, accountable to the house of the people. That is why we say that executive is accountable or responsible to the legislature. What is executive? Government. Council of Ministers. Executive refers to government or COM, Council of Ministers. And legislature refers to here the parliament. So here it refers to be very accurate, Lok Sabha. Are we clear? Accountable, responsible, meaning for the performance of your functions, the Lok Sabha can ask you questions, ifs and ifs not, of what is happening, what is not happening, because you are responsible towards the Lok Sabha. Like right now in your life, you are responsible towards your parents, accountable to parents. Meaning what? They can question you. What the hell are you doing? Right? Are you studying or not? So very important element of every individual who is sitting and taking this class is to always ensure that you please meet the expectations of your parents also. Right? Anyway. So this is what is the collective accountability. Now, one more point to observe here is that the Council of Ministers shall be responsible to Lok Sabha, because Lok Sabha is the house which is which comprises of MPs directly chosen by us. We vote to choose the MPs of Lok Sabha. So it's a directly elected house. And because it's a directly elected house, that's the reason why we say that the Council of Ministers are responsible to the Lok Sabha, House of People. And because of this reason only, you will say that the government is also formed in Lok Sabha only. Government formation in Lok Sabha, right? That is why to win the election, you have to win the majority of the seats in the Lok Sabha, not Rajya Sabha. Clear? Now, one more thing. What is this concept of collective? What is this drama of collective? So, collective word has a significance. What's that significance? The significance is that all the ministers, the entire government, acts as one unit. Council of Ministers act as a common unit, one common unit. Okay, this means what? If today the one minister takes a decision, right? Other ministers have to agree on the decision. If today the government says that this is our decision, all ministers who are part of government, they have to agree on the decision. Maybe you have disagreements, but in private, not in public. That is why we can very simply raise this concern. If today the failure of home ministry to tackle the issue of Manipur comes to light, you can question the PM also, you can question the health minister also, you can question the entire government, because it's the government's fault. Collectively responsible, collectively accountable. Are we clear? So if I am a minister and let's say the government wants to say modify Article 370 and wants to bring this proposal or take this decision, and I say no, I don't like this, so I better resign. Simple. I have to say yes to the government's decision because I'm a part of government. If I have any public disagreement, I should resign. I hope this point is clear. That's why we say decisions of government are binding on all ministers. Decisions of government, that is the Council of Ministers, are binding on all the ministers. Clear? Now one more thing. Let this collective concept not confuse you with the legal responsibility. For example, I said that if the government has failed to fulfill its responsibilities, let's say a few weeks back, the tomato prices were rising, rose to as high as 200 rupees also. So in that situation, we could very easily question the Prime Minister also, Amit Shah also. Now, Mr. Amit Shah is a Home Minister. He has no control over such things. But he's a part of government. We can question him also. That what is the government doing? Increase in prices, right? But what if in some ministry, let's say in the Ministry of Health, some corruption is going on? If an individual minister performs an act of corruption, then can you question other ministers? Can you scold them? Yes. Can you punish them legally in jail? No, you can't. Because every minister is individually responsible for the shortcomings of his or her own ministry. If I was involved in corruption, you can't punish the Prime Minister. I only will go to jail. If the PM is responsible for something wrong, punish him only. Don't punish me. You can scold the entire government. What the hell are you guys doing? Useless government. That's okay. But when it comes to actual judicial punishments, then only the concerned person who broke the law will be punished. You cannot punish the entire council, entire ministers, come on, go to jail now. That does not happen. So, this collective responsibility does not mean collective legal responsibility. It is only individual legal responsibility. Clear? So, that's it. Now, moving on to Article 75, Clause 4. Before a minister enters upon his office, the president shall administer to him the oath of office. Oath of office. Just like the president takes an oath, the VP takes an oath. Similarly, the ministers also take two oaths. One is the oath of office, the other is oath of secrecy. And what is the form of the oath? What do they have to read actually? This will be mentioned under third schedule. So one more schedule we'll be studying now is the third schedule. Before that, what is this oath of office? This is the oath of office. I, AB, name, do swear in the name of God or solemnly affirm whatever. that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established, and very important, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India. So, this concept of sovereignty and integrity of India was not there originally. This phrase has been added later on, has been made a part of oath that I promise to uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India. This was added post the Indo-China War, added via the 16th Amendment Act 1963. Okay. And that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge my duties as a minister for the Union, and that I will do right to all manner of people in accordance with the Constitution and the law, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. So our ministers take an oath that they will not show any kind of fear or favor to any group, any party, any company, any businessman, etc. Are we clear? And also, no affection towards anyone, no ill will towards anyone. So, no favoring. So, some people may raise concerns that some party is favoring some group, right? But the oath is that no, don't favor anyone. So, what happens if this oath is broken? What happens? If this oath is broken, then who will punish you? God will punish you. It is just a moral obligation. Are we clear on this? Moral obligation. It is not some legal obligation. God will punish you one fine day. Karma, the karma will come back to bite you. Let's wait for karma to come back to bite the rich and elite. Right? The biggest misconception that is being told to all the poor people is that don't worry, there is an afterlife where your life will be amazing. Suffer in this life. Anyway, coming back to oath of office. Second oath is a oath of secrecy. Just this last point, and we'll take a break. Oath of secrecy refers to the idea that, see, as a minister, you will be privy to a lot of sensitive information, right? And the government wants you to also be a person which can or who can keep the information safely. Or are you that kind of person? No, in every friends group, there is one person. You tell anything to them, entire world knows the information. So if you are that person, you know very well, right? So, of course, the ministers, because they get lot of information. Where are the nuclear installations, etc. Imagine the minister has no control over himself. He gets information. Oh, nuclear missiles kept there. Runs to public, says, public, now I know where the missiles are. It is kept there. The very next day, half the country will go there and start getting all these photographs. That, guys, look at this. This is the location of the missiles. Please like my channel, subscribe to my video, press the bell icon, all this nonsense. So this is a concern. That is why I, AB, do swear in the name of God or solemnly affirm that I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to any person or persons any matter which shall be brought under my consideration or shall become known to me as a minister for the Union, except as may be required for the discharge of my duties. I will not let anybody know any sensitive thing about the government. I'll keep things a secret. Are we clear? Now, this oath of secrecy is actually a legal responsibility, because if you try to reveal any kind of secret information, minister or otherwise, in the country, it's a punishable offense. Are we clear? There is jail term. Jail term. And what's the jail term? 3 to 14 years of jail. There is a law called Official Secrets Act. of 1923. Under this law, you can be jailed from 3 to 14 years for revealing sensitive information. Clear? Normally, this law is meant for everybody, for you, me, IAS, IPS ministers also. So, if they reveal any secret information which comes to light, they can be punished. Oath of office, oath of secrecy. Okay. So, now let's take a break. After the break, we'll come back and we'll discuss Schedule 3. Nothing to discuss here. Schedule 3 comprises of the names of all these people whose oath format is mentioned in this schedule. That's it. Okay. Break, please. And we'll come back after the break to continue. Break till 7:05. Enjoy full 16 minutes of break. Okay. Party time. As we are discussing, Vaibhav, you are simply spamming with a question which makes no sense. So one of our aspirant asks, "Sir, if it reveals to his family members and they kept it secret, then what do I answer to this question? If you murder somebody and nobody comes to know, then will you be punished? Tell me." Bhavesh, oath includes they will not lie at all. Uh, of course, they should not lie. Why would you lie? But the only lies are the ones that are caught. I think we know in our life also. Anyway, so coming to Schedule 3, forms of oath or affirmation. So under Schedule 2, just like Schedule 2, salaries of certain people was mentioned. Under Schedule 3, oath of certain categories of people, that's mentioned. So the oath for the ministers is mentioned. Ministers of the central government, ministers of the state government. Candidates, any person who wants to contest elections, who wants to contest elections, whether elections for the parliament or elections for the state legislature, right? So all candidates, before they can contest elections, they have to take an oath. Also for legislators who are already or who have won the election, whether you are an MP, MLA, MLC, it does not matter. Every person has to take an oath who becomes a legislator, whether you are elected or nominated. And also judges of Supreme Court, judges of high courts, and finally the CAG. So oath of all these people is mentioned in the third schedule. Okay. So that's it. Article 75, clause 4. Look at this. Third schedule. It talks about the oath. So Minister of the Union takes an oath of office. Minister for the Union takes the oath of secrecy. So 2 oaths, and similarly other oaths are mentioned in the third schedule. Now moving on to the next clause, Article 75, Clause 5. How many of you have seen this movie, Nayak, or the original Tamil version of it, directed by Shankar, starring Arjun? Have you seen this movie? Or rather, who has not seen this movie? Oh, some of you have not seen this movie. Surprising. So, okay, no problem. Arjun's version, the original version, or the Anil Kapoor version, the story is the same. This movie is actually based on a concept. So, this is a scene from the movie where the interview is being conducted. This person is the interviewer, a reporter, and he asks very difficult questions from this person. And finally, he gets so irritated that he starts explaining that no, to be a CM is a tough job, day in, day out, difficult. Do you want to be a CM? I'll make you a CM for one day. One day chief minister. Right? So then this fellow makes him the CM for one day. My point is it possible for anybody to become a CM for one day, PM for one day, 2 days, 10 days? Yes or no? Yes, it is possible. Okay. So it is possible as per Article 75, Clause 5 for center, and for states, like in the movie, this article is 164, Clause 4. So, what is the clause all about? This clause says that any minister who for any period of 6 consecutive months, continuous months, is not a member of any house shall at the end of 6 months will cease to become minister. Meaning that for 6 months maximum, any person can be a minister without being a member of the house. Are we clear? Without being a member of the house, you can continue to be a minister, but for maximum 6 months. Within 6 months, you have to become a member of the house. In fact, S. Shankar, the very famous external affairs minister whose videos you see, thug life videos, right, on YouTube, uh, basically, he, after BJP won the election, on the 30th of May, he was made the what? Minister for External Affairs. And then he was neither a member of Lok Sabha nor Rajya Sabha for over a month. And on 5th of July 2019, he became a member of Rajya Sabha. So it's possible. Clear? So there are plenty of examples. Just recently or a couple of years back, in West Bengal, the CM, Mamta Banerjee, so she had lost the election, but her party won, and she became the CM without being an MLA. Later on, one person from her party resigned, seat became vacant, she contested and she won. So despite not being a member of any house, she still became the chief minister. It is allowed, no problem. Okay, this is why we call this the Nayak article. Don't try this in examination, right? Just to help you remember. Now, two things are important here. Point number one, which you should know, it is that this provision is available only to people who are otherwise eligible. Only to those people who are otherwise eligible to be member of the house. Meaning what? Meaning that if you, let's say somebody here is of the age 19 years old. Now, the problem is that you cannot be made a minister. Why? Because the minimum age required to be a member of the house is 25. So even after 6 months, you will still not be eligible to become a minister, right? A member. So you have, this provision is only available for those people who are otherwise qualified to be members of the house. That only. Second thing is also that you cannot use this for reappointments. So this is not meant for reappointments, that the same person keeps on getting appointed again and again. So you are made a minister. After 5 months, 29 days, you resign. 1 day gap, again become the minister. Again 5 months, 29 days, again resign. So this can't be done. So reappointments not allowed. Reappointments not allowed. Clear? And let me also clarify one thing. If you are a member of the house, only then can you vote inside the house. So non-member ministers, they can't vote in the house. Non-member ministers can't vote in the house. Okay. Now one more thing. Look at the article and how it is phrased. The point is, you can be a minister without being an MP, no problem. But for maximum 6 months. Within 6 months, you better get yourself elected or nominated to Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Does not matter. But you have to become a member of the house. Now, herein comes the concern. The concern is that every minister is ultimately going to be an MP also. Yes or no? Because ultimately you have to be an MP only. That is why we say that in the parliamentary system, think of it like this. This is a parliament comprising of all the MPs sitting here. These are all MPs sitting here. Various MPs, full of members. Now, in the parliament, what happens is some of these MPs become ministers, right? So some of the MPs are ministers. Let's assume this is the group of MPs who are holding some post of minister. So we say that in the parliament, or in the parliamentary system, executive, the government, the ministers, they are a part of legislature. Who are these people? These are non-minister MPs, MPs who are not ministers. So in the parliamentary system, executive is a part of legislature. This is one more important element of the parliamentary system. So in parliamentary system, executive is a part of legislature. I hope this point is clear. Meaning, some people who are ministers, they also are MPs. Clear? Now, just one point here. Though some MPs become ministers and other MPs, most of them are not ministers. All other MPs who are not ministers, they are also known as private member. Just a term for you to know. So, who is a private member? Private member is that MP who is not a minister. He can be from BJP, Congress, Aam Aadmi Party, BJD, BRS, DMK, right? NPP, whatever party. If you are an MP in the house, if you are a member of the house and you are not a minister, we can also call you a private member. Are we clear, everybody? No doubt? Okay, great. This was Article 75, Clause 5. Lastly, we have Article 76, 75, Clause 6. The salaries and allowances of ministers shall be such as the Parliament may from time to time by law determine. Parliament will determine the salaries, and actually a law has already been made. What's the law? The law is called the Salaries and Allowances and Allowances of Ministers Act 1952. So as per this, the salary of minister is actually 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh salary. Then they get a constituency allowance of 70,000 rupees. Then for office expenditure, they get 60,000 rupees, of which 40,000 has to be spent on secretariat assistance and 20,000 rupees on office expenses. Then the PM gets 3,000 rupees of what is called sumptuary allowance. That is called hospitality allowance to entertain visitors. So in the PM's office, elite people will come. Ambanis, Adanis, they will come to meet the PM. You can't serve them Parle G biscuits. You have to serve them handmade cookies. So for that also some money is given, right? That's there. Apart from it, it is also a fact that they get various kind of allowances or perks. What are these perks? The perks are you'll get a bungalow, car, security, loans, free air travel, free train travel, free steamer travel, all these things. Just to mention this point, uh, uh, in the previous union budget, 1711 crore rupees, 1711 crore rupees was spent for or was sidelined for the ministers for their salary, etc. But most of it goes in travel. Travel is very costly for them. Okay, travel is a real concern because when they travel, they don't travel alone. It's not some economy class travel, 5,000 rupees ticket. It's a very costly affair. Chartered flights, etc. All the people, so it's a costly travel. Anyway, India is too big. I mean, we should not behave in a petty manner. Oh, so much money, 1,700 crores. It's okay. 1,711 crores is not a big amount, right? India is not Pakistan. Grow up. So that's there. Now we are done with Article 75, Clause 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Please solve a question. Sardarni, sir, does a civil servant also get these kind of allowances? Yes, almost these kind of allowances, with some differences. They also get these allowances. Don't worry. You will also enjoy. Waste the taxpayers' money. Please mark the answer, 45 seconds. Okay. The Council of Ministers in the Union of India is collectively responsible both to Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, or only to Lok Sabha? House of People, not this. A is wrong. If assertion is wrong, then both A and R are true. No. Both A and R are true. No. A is true. No. So D has to be the answer. Yes or no? The members of both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha are eligible to be the ministers of the union government, and this is correct. Okay. Solve one more question. Came in 2012. Please mark the answer. It's an easy question. Don't worry. Okay. 6 months. Absolutely correct. So the PM need not be an MP, no problem. But within 6 months, you must become an MP in the House. That is what article. What do I write here? Which article? Tell me. Article 75, clause 5 says the Nayak article. Okay. So that's it. Now, Article 78. Article 78, we already know, is the duties of the Prime Minister with respect to furnishing or providing information to the President. We have seen this article under the chapter President itself. Okay. Now, let's move on to understand the various types of ministers, the so-called portfolio system. What is portfolio? Portfolio means ministry. That's called portfolio. Simple. Portfolio means ministry. So, portfolio system or the ministry system in our country. Now, this portfolio system or types of ministers, this is not mentioned in the constitution. Are you clear? So, let's just explain through a diagram for easy understanding. The entire group of ministers, we collectively call them what? We call them Council of Ministers. Yes or no? Council of Ministers. But in this council, now think of the Indian cricket team, right? Asia Cup is going on. So think of the Indian cricket team of players. Some players, the senior most players, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, etc. Senior most players. Then some players in the middle, not too senior but not junior also. And then some of them largely youngsters who have gotten a chance to prove themselves. Same thing in the ministry also. Some ministers are senior most people. They hold very important ministries. These people are known as cabinet minister. Cabinet minister. Then there are some other people relatively junior. They are called minister of state. Now they are not ministers in the state government, at the center only. Independent charge. I'll explain this shortly. And third category is the minister of state. So first category, the senior most people are the cabinet ministers. Of course, the PM is also a part of this group of cabinet ministers only, right? So this is the senior most ministers in the country. Now there is no definition of what exactly is a cabinet, but roughly we can simply think of it like this, that these are people, they hold, control, manage the most important portfolios or ministries. Are we clear? These people are called cabinet ministers. Okay? Are we clear on this? PM is also a part here, meaning you can see the types of ministers that we have. Minister for Defense, somebody is controlling defense, important ministry. Road transport, finance, home, agriculture, tribal affairs, external affairs, Ministry for Women, etc. So these are important ministries. So cabinet ministers are those people who control important ministries. Clear? Second, now think of all these ministries. Think of Ministry of Finance only. Now, Ministry of Finance is a very large ministry comprising of 6 departments and so many divisions. 6 departments inside Ministry of Finance only. How can a single person manage everything? Ministry of Defense, such a big ministry. How can a single person manage everything? Same goes for home, etc. So to help these ministers, the cabinet ministers, we also appoint people who are called ministers of state. Now, who are these people? These are people who are part of council of ministers only, but you can think of them as junior ministers. These people are given some task or charge or control of departments within a ministry, departments of a ministry under the cabinet minister. So these people are like assistant of the cabinet minister. They manage some departments inside a ministry individually, right? They will not hold any separate ministry on their own, but within the large ministry only, they are told, okay, listen, you manage these two things for me. Simple. So these are people referred to as MOS. They are given the charge or control of departments within or under a cabinet ministry. Are we clear? They are not given something to manage independently, but they will support the senior ministers. Are we clear, everyone? Okay. Guys, I have not mentioned all the ministers. Who said it is all the ministers? It is just a photograph of a few ministers. So, of course, there'll be more cabinet ministers. For the examination, there is no need to know who all are cabinet ministers. If you want, you can Google search for this information and mug up on your own. Nobody is stopping you. This is just a small photograph of few people. There are roughly 25 to 30 25 to 30 cabinet ministers. So we cannot have photographs of all the people. Please understand, apply some basic common sense. I mean, there has to be some aptitude level, right? Same goes for these people. There are roughly 40 to 50 such ministers of state. It can vary. The only criteria is the upper limit. That should not be breached. Clear? And the third category is the Minister of State, independent charge. So they are referred to like this: MOSIC, independent charge. What's the meaning? So these are those ministers who are not very senior. So what will be done is they will be given the task to manage some ministry independently, but those are smaller ministries, right? So they manage relatively smaller ministries independently. These are people who are called MOS, independent charge. Are we clear, everybody? So one very important point to understand is that all three of these categories are collectively called Council of Ministers. Some of them are cabinet ministers, some of them are minister of state, independent charge, and some of them are ministers of state. Clear? Okay. Abhishek, what is this here? Constantly bombarding with the same message. Sir, if I forgot clause, then I can just mention article. Now, if somebody asks a question, sir, I forgot one point in the exam. Can I skip on that point? Of course, you can skip on the point. If you have forgotten something, then what to do now? Tell me. Sometimes, if you have seen this movie Hera Fairy, second part, Paresh Rawal is sitting in the car, and these people leave the car to search for Akshay Kumar and Sunil Shetty. And a dialogue said by Paresh Rawal: "How will you become a kidnapper?" That's the same thing that I feel with certain questions. Right? Anyway, so that is there. Let's not repeat the dialogue here. It's okay. No problem. So the point here is that think of this. Okay, one question, yes or no. Please tell me yes or no. And A.S. Hussain, other fellow. Summary of portfolio system. What summary, sir? What is more basic than this? That we have Council of Ministers, which is divided into three parts. Some of them are called cabinet ministers, some are called MOS, independent charge, and some are called MOS. What to explain beyond this? Answer my question now, please. All cabinet ministers are a part of Council of Ministers? Yes or no? The answer is, of course, yes. Can you see the Venn diagram here? This is like a bigger box under which we have cabinet ministers. Second question. All Council of Ministers are ministers of state. Yes or no? Inside the Council of Ministers, we have cabinet minister. Inside the same council, we have Minister of State also. Inside the same council, we have Minister of State independent charge also. Are we clear? Okay. Done. As of now, we have only these three categories. See, in the past, etc., we had various categories. It does not really matter because anyway, these categories are not mentioned in the constitution. It depends. It depends on the prime minister. Okay. Now, moving on to the functions of cabinet. Very, very important because after all, now I hope you understand. Think of a cricket match. In the cricket match, a team, right? The team comprises of various types of players. The senior most players, then the middle level players, and the youngsters, junior players. If I ask you which group is responsible for all the decision making in the cricket team, of course the senior most players, right. A youngster who has just come today playing his first match, you won't ask him, come on, tell me what to do now, we are trapped. It's always the senior most players. So in the country, if you think of cabinet, MOSIC, you please tell me what is the hierarchy according to you. Who is the most senior and who is the most junior? Let me see. Senior most minister. Okay. A lot of you are getting it correct. Some of you, I don't know, writing what. Let's ignore that. So the hierarchy would be like this. The most important people are the cabinet let me write here only. The most important people are, of course, the cabinet minister. The definition itself says that these are people who are managing the most important ministry in the country. They are the senior most people. Then come the MOSIC. Why? Because they are given the charge to manage a full ministry, smaller only, but a full ministry on their own. They don't work under any cabinet minister. And then the MOS, Minister of State. These are people who are actually working under a cabinet minister. Inside the ministry, you are given some department to manage. So, of course, you are not independently managing a ministry. So, the junior most of all these three are the MOS. Are we clear on this, everybody? Or is still there is some doubt? Those who wrote correctly, ignore that. Others who are writing wrong, now I hope you are clear. So this is the correct hierarchy. Now, functions of cabinet. Why do we have these senior people? Because the idea is that we want the ministers to be collectively responsible to the house and the people in general, right? But all 70-80 people, difficult to hold them accountable. So the senior most group inside the entire council, they take all the decisions. and the junior ministers simply say, yes, yes, very good decision, amazing, thumbs up, right? So the central idea behind the cabinet system that we have is to ensure a sense of accountability, a collective responsibility, ensure collective responsibility of the entire government towards the people, of government towards people. This is the idea behind cabinet, that few of the senior most ministers will be responsible for everything in the country, and other ministers have to simply say, yes, yes, we also are there, right? So what's the task of these ministers, functions that they perform? So practically the executive, the government that you think of is actually these people only, frankly. It's not the entire ministers, and junior ministers have no say. It's these people who are the actual real government. In reality they are the supreme executive authority, number one. They are the principal policy making body also. In the country, every policy is made by the cabinet, and the other ministers approve it. Yes, yes, cabinet, big bosses, you are right, only approved. It is a coordinating body, ensures, maintains coordination amongst various parties, groups, etc. Then the preparation, enactment, execution, preparing the budget, presenting the budget in the house, and also implementing the budget is all done by this group only. So now some of you may say, but sir, in the parliament, the finance minister presents the budget. See, this budget exercise actually starts 6-7 months beforehand only. Like right now, all the senior ministers must be planning every day for some time that what can we do in the next budget. And then the plan is set. Finally, in the month of December, January, the finance ministry will finalize the details, and then the budget is prepared and presented. Do you think the budget is prepared and presented without PM's permission? PM knows everything. In the house, the PM will bang on the table and act surprised. Oh, wow, amazing scheme. All senior ministers are clapping, surprised. It is just acting. They know everything. Do you think without their approval, things can be done? If you think that the minister, finance minister, will act independently without the knowledge of PM, he or she won't be the minister. So, of course, the idea is that the senior group knows everything. It is just for the camera that they say, oh, finance minister, amazing. This scheme also, great, genius. That's what they do. Then, all senior level appointments are made by this group only, the cabinet, the senior most people. Then, crisis management. In case there is any kind of crisis, some pandemic is there. What can be a crisis? War in the country, some pandemic has happened, there is some natural calamity, any such thing. In all such circumstances, it's these senior people who come together, to help solve that problem. Ministry, any ministry, any ministry, home, finance, education, etc. Who is the boss in the ministry? Minister. The chief executive officer, the real head, is a minister only. And after the minister come all these IAS officers. Like the topmost IAS officer in any ministry is a secretary. Below him, you have people who are called additional secretaries. Below him or her, we have joint secretaries. Below him or her, we have deputy secretaries, or in some cases, they can be called directors. Same thing. Below them, you have under secretary. This is the hierarchy in a ministry. Hierarchy. And then you have all these section officer, clerical staff, assistant, peon, messengers below. So this is what you refer to the senior most people in the ministry. This is where you will enter under secretary, right? If you are in a ministry, if you are in the state, then you will become an SDM, DM, etc. So, what are the principal organs of government? Principal organs of government means ministries. And who is the CEO, the boss, the chief executive officer? The minister. It's just a way of saying the same thing, that the boss of any ministry is the minister. Clear? Just a way of presenting the same idea. Are we clear on this? Everybody? Okay. So that's there. Now, one more thing is the inner circle of Prime Minister. So, firstly, let me also tell you something. In case you want to create a new ministry, let's say today, if the government feels they want to create a new ministry called Temple Ministry, right? If the government wants to create a new ministry called Temple Ministry, what do they need to do? So there is to create a new ministry. What's the step? Very simple. Yesterday we had seen under Article 77, Clause 3, the President can make rules for convenient transaction of business and for the allocation of business amongst the ministers. For allocation of business. Yes or no? So there is a rule. We had seen the rule also. Government of India allocation of business rules 1961. If you want to create a new ministry, all you need to do is that the president can simply modify this rule and insert name of the new ministry. Are we clear, everyone? So this is a small rule book. You can simply create a new ministry by inserting a new name here and allocating some functions. Of course, these rules are made by the president, but on the advice of Prime Minister. Okay, Prime Minister. So this is how you can create or remove or abolish a ministry. Like Very recently, a new ministry was created. Tell me, what was the new ministry created recently? Any idea? That was a ministry chaired or headed by Amit Shah, the Ministry of Cooperation. This is a new ministry created. So, how was this created? This ministry was created by amending the Government of India allocation of business rules and adding this name and giving some functions. Are we clear? This ministry's task is to look into cooperative societies and their functioning. More on this when you study your social justice, social issues classes, you'll get to know the functioning of cooperatives. Okay. Now, think of your life. In your life, once you become an IAS officer, of course, you will have a lot of people in your office to help you out, to give advice to you. But you will not always follow their advice only. You will also follow, and people tend to follow advice of those who are close to them. Your informal circle of advisors. Informal circle or group of advisors. Those people who are not actually a part of the your department or officers, maybe friends, family members, etc. That is what is actually running the country, to be very frank. Just like take the case of Indira Gandhi. For example, Indira Gandhi. Now, Indira Gandhi was the prime minister and she had so many IAS officers to help her out in decision making. But Indira Gandhi usually took advice from her son Sanjay Gandhi, couple of senior other bureaucrats, couple of senior ministers, the yoga guru Dhirendra Brahmachari, right? So these are known as the inner circle of the prime minister, the informal group of advisors. It is these people who are actually responsible for running the country, because the PM will be influenced mostly by the people close to the prime minister. So in case of Indira Gandhi, it was said that the real cabinet works in the kitchen of Indira Gandhi, from her house, not from the PMO, Prime Minister's office. Basically, this kitchen cabinet is not some constitutional term. Okay, just like in the case of Rajiv Gandhi, when he was a prime minister, he took advice, a lot of advice from his friends back in Doon. So his group was called Dehradun Brigade. Or in the case of Lal Bahadur Shastri, when he was a prime minister, since he had come from unions, etc., he took advice from his friends from the unions. That was called the Grand Council. Right? Now, these things are all media coined terms. Don't try to find them in the constitution. They are not some constitutional terms. And the origin of this concept is in USA. So back in 1829, there used to be a president of USA called Andrew Jackson. Now, this Andrew Jackson, he did not trust his government officials much. He, in fact, heavily distrusted them. So, he used to take all his decisions in consultation with his family and friends. So, the media started telling that the country is being run from the house of the president, from the kitchen of the president, from the parlor of the president, where he used to sit with his friends and drink and smoke and hang out. So they started telling, oh, this is the kitchen cabinet, this is the parlor cabinet. So that's how we have also used these terms. For example, sometimes even godmen try to advise. Uh, if anybody here has seen this series called Scam 1992, Harshad Mehta, directed by Hansal Mehta. So this series, if you remember, towards the end of this series, Harshad Mehta keeps on talking to one Babaji in Delhi. So allegedly, uh, this was this Babaji was a very close advisor to P.V. Narasimha Rao. Chandra Swami or Nemi Chand was his Babaji's name, allegedly, right? So, in your life also, maybe some of you who believe in God and religion and astrology, etc., uh, maybe there is some astrologer who is helping you out, right? That please do this, wear this ring, and you'll clear the examination. All these things. So that's there. It's a very natural human tendency. So anyway, it's not a very unique kind of thing. It's very common, and I just wanted you to know that this also exists. That's it. I use Astro Talk app, Bhuvnesh. Okay, great. Good for you. Keep up the good work. So this is the inner circle of Prime Minister. Lastly, or second last, the size of cabinet. So what exactly is the size of the cabinet? And the question is, what should be the size of cabinet? So if the cabinet, the senior most people, is very small, issues with small cabinet, then what problems may happen? And issues with a very large cabinet, then what problems may happen? So let's start with issues with small cabinet. If the cabinet is very small, handful of people, 4 or 5 people only, are taking every decision in the country, then what's the problem? Tell me. If handful of people keep on taking all the decisions, then what happens? Point number one, of course, as most of you are writing, concentration of power in the hands of few people only. Number two, they will be overburdened. Yes or no? Excessive workload, overburdened. Number three, one big issue can be that since one minister is handling multiple tasks now, there could also be no check on the cabinet minister. Then one more problem is, now think of this. If you have just 3 or 4 people taking all important decisions. Now, 3 or 4 people may not have comprehensive knowledge of various domains, right? They may not have wide knowledge, wider outlook or perspective. Their knowledge will be limited. So, policies will be framed through very narrow approach, because lot of people, a small group of people will not be able to have a very diverse opinion. That will be a concern. So narrow outlook of policies in general, right? And also very important is this point that in our country it is very important to have ministers from various religions, various languages, various regions, gender, age, caste, all these things. This country is very diverse and every group needs to be represented, right? So there will be lack of representation of diverse groups. It could be groups with respect to various regions, religions, language, gender, caste, age, etc. So a bigger group would mean that every section, every community gets represented. They feel a sense of ownership with the government. Very, very important, right? And it's a very important element of representation. Otherwise, people will not have a sense of ownership with the government, right? So, some people here may feel that, oh, I don't believe in religion, I don't believe in caste. You may not. The country does, sadly. And if you have this misbelief that people don't, you are living in a city, urban area. Please take out your Sunday matrimonial page and see. You will realize that we believe in caste, we believe in religion, we are highly crazy for both money as well as white skin. You'll be surprised that in these matrimonials, groom wanted 6 figure, 7 figure salary of this caste, that caste. Bride wanted milky fair and white. We are still sadly obsessed with the issues of caste, religion, etc. Right? So, till people still believe in it, they form groups around it. It is important to ensure that these groups also get representation. Otherwise, they may get disenchanted with the reality. Oh, this is not my government. Nobody from my group is represented there. That's what they feel. So, a smaller group may also have this problem that not every section of the society may be adequately represented. Clear? And then, what are the issues with a large sized cabinet? So, large sized cabinet will have typical issues of what? Number one, too many people in the ministry. Meaning, if you have too many people in the ministry, then excessive discussions, delay in policy making, too much of discussion. You have to convince every minister now. Too much of decision, right? Then increased chance, possibility of conflicts. Of course, it will also have excess burden on CFI in terms of salary, in terms of allowances, etc. What is CFI? Consolidated Fund of India. Then, when you create too many ministries, you'll have to randomly allocate something to people. Some kind of ministry will be created. So, we can also say there is a possibility of irrational division of work. Irrational, useless division of work, creating new and new ministries, right? And if too many people are a part of ministry of the cabinet, then there's also a problem of maintaining secrecy. Information can also leak. Larger group knows information. It becomes difficult to maintain secrecy, right? So that is there with respect to issues of a large cabinet. So what's the right approach? Right approach is a balance, neither too large nor too small. Balance. Clear? So the summary has to be that there should be a balance. The cabinet should not be either too large or too small. There is no golden number. But CFI point? What CFI? If you have more people, then more money will be given for salaries. Where does money come out from? CFI only. Are we clear on this? And what is negative for a small cabinet is a positive for a large cabinet, and what is positive for a small cabinet or negative for a large cabinet is a positive in the small cabinet. Simple, right? Okay, that's it. So this is with respect to the size of the cabinet. Now last, the checks on the cabinet. So as far as a cabinet is concerned, it's an extremely powerful body. We can see here the prime minister, the senior ministers, they practically control everything, right? Everything in the country. In the Ram Jawaya Kapoor Supreme Court had said that everything in the country is being done by the executive only. And in the executive, you have this small group of ministers, around 25-30 ministers, who are called cabinet ministers. Imagine the amount of power that they wield. My point is, who or how can we keep a check on this cabinet? Tell me, what are the various checks on the cabinet? One such check is the check of course, the parliament. Yes or no? The opposition keeps a check through various tools. Second check is the judiciary. Judiciary keeps a check. Third check that you have is the media. Both national media and international media. Then, of course, people, public, because elections eventually have to come to us only, right, to seek votes. Then, specialized institutions. In our country, there are some institutions which ensure that the government performs its tasks properly, like Lokpal, CAG, ECI, etc. Okay. Then bodies like NGOs, various pressure groups. So what are these NGOs, pressure groups? In your governance classes and social justice classes, you'll be hearing it. Beyond this, very important is world global rules, international rules and organizations. Since India is a part of various global rules and global coalitions and organizations, they also keep a check on us. UNO, WTO, etc. Right? And of course, plus the president can keep a check with his tools of sending back the advice, right? And one very, very important check is a check of the constitution. Ultimately, you have to follow the fundamental law of the land. Nothing beyond that. That has to be followed. Clear? So this is with respect to the topic Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. Before we end our discussion, please solve a couple of questions very, very quickly. This question was asked last year only. Let's see if you can mark the answer correctly for this. 45 seconds. Very easy question, frankly. Let's try it. Ministers into four ranks: cabinet, minister of state, independent charge, etc. Firstly, constitution does not classify any of these things. Wrong. Second, the total number of ministers in the union government, including the prime minister, shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members in the Lok Sabha. Yes or no? It is correct. So, this is the 91st Amendment Act of the year 2003. B2 only. Done. And the last question, please solve it. I'll give you a minute since you have to read. Okay, so out of the following statements, choose the one that brings out the principle underlying the cabinet form of government: a mechanism of parliamentary democracy for ensuring collective responsibility of the government towards the people. Absolutely correct, right? So others are all irrelevant completely, make no sense at all. We are done with our discussion on the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. Just to summarize, in case you want to read Lakshmikant, please read chapter 19 and chapter 20. Now, some of you who are also, say, in your school, college, first year, etc., and have plenty of time at hand, they may also read this book, Indian Constitution at Work. This is the NCRT book. Class 11th, chapter 4. though this is completely optional, but in case you want to, feel free. Any important case? Not really. Important articles? The same old Article 74, Article 75, Article 78. And we saw one schedule also. That was Schedule 3 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, that's it. We are done for the day. That is all for me, guys. Jai Hind. I'll take your doubts now. And yes, of course, the leaderboard. So, Anu, Manikandan, Kirtana, Sushanta, and Elinda. These 5 people are toppers. Then Alfred, Yuvraj, Khushi, Abdullah, Anurag, Shilpa, Neha, Nikki, Srivarsha, Roshan, Sushmita, Shubha, Sanjana, A.S. Hussain, Kudikala, Chetan. All these people, and maybe others also, I'm not sure, are at rank 6. Okay. Coming to just to have the task for tomorrow, we know we have to go through the PPTs, we have to read the editorials, we have to also follow what? Yojana. So, yes, Monday, Yojana, Tuesday, Kurukshetra, Wednesday, Yojana. So, today is Thursday, Kurukshetra. Time for Kurukshetra, not for Yojana. Kurukshetra, the month of July. Please read 2 articles. The gist. Then, of course, the NCRT book, Political Theory. Read chapter 4 now. And lastly, only for those preparing for next year, for 2024, please read the monthly magazine of the month of July. Continue. Okay. Okay. That's it. I'll take up questions. If you have any questions, please. Others who have no queries can leave. Those who have some queries can remain. Mayank Vadwani, it is completely optional for you. You may read it. Read it. No problem. Dheeraj, if no party